how you would react, or how do you think you would handle it if you were really in that boy's position?
Me being River, I would have handled it differently. I would have, I think, overreacted. I'd been a little more dramatic because I'm not as used to the patterns that Danny has been through, and I would have been a lot more distressed by it all and a lot more confused.
Welcome back to our channel. River Phoenix, a star that burned brightly but was extinguished at the height of its brilliance. He was the embodiment of talent and perfection in 1980s Hollywood, a figure who left the world stunned when he collapsed on the sidewalk outside the Viper Room on a fateful Halloween night in 1993. At just 23 years old, he departed this world, leaving behind an irreplaceable void and unanswered questions. River's career seemed like a flawless dream, but few knew that this dream was built on a precarious and fractured foundation. A childhood haunted by a cult, unspeakable emotional scars, and the relentless pressures of fame turned River from a symbol of purity into a lost soul ensnared by deadly temptations. What pushed this young man into an inescapable spiral? And was Hollywood's dazzling spotlight a curse for his life? The story of River Phoenix is not merely a tragedy of a talent lost too soon. It is also a mirror reflecting the dark side of fame. It is a journey both luminous and shadowed, taking us from heights of glory to the deepest depths of despair. A tale of a star who lived intensely and left the world in shock. A flame that burned brightly only to leave ashes behind. Yet those ashes continue to glow in the memories of those who cherished him. Early life. River Jude Bottom, a name that seemed to foretell a destiny mired in chaos and turmoil. Born on August 23, 1970, on a mint farm in Madras, Oregon, River was not granted a peaceful childhood. Instead, from the moment he entered the world, his life was a series of contradictions, wounds, and his parents' impossible aspirations, parents who were consumed by ideals of freedom and spiritual liberation, only to become imprisoned by those very ideals. River's parents, John Lee Bottom and Arlen Dunetz, were unlike conventional couples. True hippies at heart, they rejected all societal norms, choosing a nomadic lifestyle, wandering from place to place in an old, battered mobile home. Yet the romance of an unrestrained existence only lived in their ideals. In reality, it was a life of poverty, instability, and relentless uncertainty. River grew up in hardship alongside his 4 siblings, each born in a different place, as the family roamed across the United States and South America in pursuit of what they called enlightenment. However, instead of finding enlightenment, the Bottom family stepped into the deepest darkness when they joined the Children of God cult in the 1970s. This was not a genuine religious community, but a dangerous organization hiding behind the guise of faith. For River, it was hell. He not only witnessed heinous acts, but became a victim himself. At just 4 years old, River was sexually abused, a horrific memory he spent his entire life trying to bury. Many years later, during an interview, he uttered a cold but deeply bitter statement. They were disgusting. They destroyed so many lives. Upon realizing the horrifying truth about the cult they once trusted, River's parents decided to escape. They quietly fled Venezuela, the cult's headquarters, by stowing away on a cargo ship. But even this journey to freedom was fraught with danger. They were discovered while still aboard the ship and narrowly escaped the cult's clutches. When they finally reached Florida, the family relied on the support of River's maternal grandparents, but poverty continued to haunt them. For River, this was not salvation, just another chapter of hardship in a new setting. Without money or the opportunity to attend school like other children, River was forced to grow up far too quickly. He and his younger sister, Rain, performed on street corners to earn small amounts of money to support the family. They sang hymns and improvised songs, but each note carried the immense pressure weighing on River's small shoulders. If we didn't make enough money, there would be nothing to eat, he once shared. For a child, this wasn't just poverty. It was the crushing burden of survival that no one should have to bear. In 1979, River's parents changed their family surname from Bottom to Phoenix, a symbol of rebirth and hope rising from the ashes. But the new name could not erase the scars the family had endured during those dark years. For River, this rebirth was not the start of a better life, but a transition into a new phase, one illuminated by the bright lights of fame, yet laden with contradictions and tragedy. When the family moved to Los Angeles, the glimmer of Hollywood began to seep into their lives. River's innate talent for music and acting, along with that of his siblings, quickly caught the attention of a talent agency. But fame, like fire, could warm or consume. For River, it offered a chance to escape poverty, but also thrust him into a relentless cycle of pressure. From a child fighting for survival, he quickly became the family's breadwinner, working tirelessly to provide for everyone. But was success truly a form of liberation, or merely another kind of captivity? Early career. River Phoenix's career did not begin on grand stages or in prestigious arts academies, but on dusty street corners where he and his sister Rain sang to earn loose change. River's guitar, though still clumsy in his young hands, resonated with the astonishment of passers-by, not just for the melodies, but for the intensity and yearning that shone in the eyes of the thin, fragile boy. Who could have imagined that from those street performances, River would soon step into Hollywood's spotlight, where the glow would not only illuminate but also consume? Opportunity knocked on an otherwise ordinary day. While singing on the street, River and his siblings were discovered by talent scout Iris Burton. Burton saw more than a poor boy trying to make a living. She recognized the potential star hidden behind his frail appearance and the innocence of a childhood stolen too soon. In an instant, River went from a wandering child to having the chance to change his and his family's life forever. But was this transformation truly a miracle, or merely the beginning of a new string of tragedies? River quickly entered the entertainment industry, where his talents were not just discovered but fully exploited. Starting with small advertisements for Mitsubishi and Ocean Spray, he soon caught the attention of television producers. His first role in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers showcased not only his natural charisma, but also acting abilities far beyond his years. The 22-episode series became a springboard for him to take on larger projects. However, as the world began to celebrate him as a child prodigy, River felt suffocated. For him, being the family's primary breadwinner was not an honor, but a colossal burden resting on the shoulders of a boy who had never had the chance to experience a normal childhood. In 1986, River achieved a major breakthrough with his role in the classic film Stand By Me. The film not only elevated him from television to the big screen, but also turned him into an icon of youth and rebellion. Playing Chris Chambers, a rebellious yet sensitive boy bearing the scars of betrayal by his own family, seemed tailor-made for River. He didn't just act, he lived the role, channeling his own real-life traumas into every scene. One of the film's most memorable moments is Chris's confession of losing faith in adults, a scene that left River in tears long after the director called "cut." This wasn't merely acting, it was raw emotion, the cry of a wounded soul. And as audiences praised his brilliant performance, did they realize that it was the darkness in River's past that illuminated his role? The resounding success of Stand By Me catapulted River into one of Hollywood's most sought-after young stars. Movie offers poured in, each role demanding him to delve deeper into his complex inner world. But off-screen, River began to feel the weight of fame. He wasn't just an actor, he was the financial pillar of his entire family. What had once been a source of pride had become shackles, pulling him further from his dreams of music, the passion that truly belonged to him. River never saw himself as an actor first, but as a musician. For him, music was the only outlet for his emotions, the only place untouched by the spotlight or the crushing weight of expectations. He spent all his earnings on a $650 guitar, a significant expense for his family, but it was a treasure he valued more than any award or acting contract. Music was the only realm where River could truly be himself. Not a young star, not Hollywood's golden boy. But life would not allow River to linger in freedom for long. His success in acting continued to pull him further from his musical dreams, and the glow of Hollywood began to transform into a burden he couldn't escape. River's success was not just a testament to his talent, but a vicious cycle of expectations, pressure, and sacrifice. Every step forward in his career came at a cost. His lost childhood, his postponed dreams, and ultimately, himself. By his teenage years, River had become the brightest star of his generation. But would that light guide his path, or burn him from within? A successful career, an unforgettable legacy. After the resounding success of Stand By Me, River Phoenix entered the brightest phase of his career. Hollywood, with its dazzling lights and endless praise, quickly propelled him to become one of the most promising young stars of his generation. Yet every success River achieved carried a profound contradiction. The spotlight that adorned him with glory also weighed heavily on his sensitive soul, which longed for a simpler, more genuine life. By the late 1980s, River delivered a string of performances that not only showcased his acting prowess, but also explored the darker corners of his inner self. The film Running on Empty, 1988, was a testament to River's innate talent. He played Danny Pope, a musically gifted teenager trapped by his family's criminal past. Like River himself, Danny was a conflicted young man, torn between responsibility and dreams, between familial love and a yearning for freedom. His brilliant portrayal earned him an Academy Award nomination at just 18 years old, making him one of the youngest actors ever recognized in the Best Supporting Actor category. But while audiences marveled at his flawless on-screen performance, few knew that off-screen, River grappled with emotions eerily similar to those of the character he portrayed. During this time, River began to show a distinct approach to selecting roles. He didn't chase glamorous parts that many of his contemporaries coveted. Instead, he sought out characters with depth and challenges. In The Mosquito Coast, 1986, River worked alongside Harrison Ford to tell the story of a family caught in the destructive idealism of its patriarch. Despite sharing the screen with a veteran actor like Ford, River's performance stood out for its authenticity and haunting sensitivity. Yet the film's commercial failure taught River a harsh lesson, that fame didn't always align with artistic merit, a truth that would accompany him throughout his career. In 1991, River embarked on one of the boldest chapters of his career with My Own Private Idaho. Starring opposite Keanu Reeves, River portrayed Mike Waters, a gay hustler with narcolepsy, wandering in search of the mother who abandoned him. The role demanded not just courage, but a willingness to delve into the most complex emotional layers. River's performance, filled with sensitivity, humor, and profound pain, turned My Own Private Idaho into an indie masterpiece. His portrayal was hailed as groundbreaking, helping bring queer cinema to the forefront of public consciousness. For River, however, the role was more than an artistic triumph. It was a reflection of his own being, a lost soul yearning for love and understanding. Outside of acting, River never stopped pursuing his passion for music. Although his acting career consumed much of his time, he constantly sought balance between the two worlds. River formed the band Alika's Attic, where he could write and perform music, liberating himself from the pressures of Hollywood. Yet, even in music, he couldn't escape the shadow of fame. Every song he wrote, every performance he gave, came with expectations and scrutiny, leaving River feeling as though he was trapped in a cage he didn't know how to break free from. River Phoenix's career was a series of dazzling successes fraught with contradictions. He was not only a gifted actor, but also a sensitive artist and a social activist who fought passionately for his ideals. Yet those accomplishments came with immense pressures, isolating him from a world that revered him as a symbol. River Phoenix was more than just a young star. He was a soul torn between two worlds, one illuminated by the bright lights of fame and another shadowed by deep, unspoken pain. The legacy he left behind, though brilliant, is also deeply poignant. A scar etched into the hearts of those who loved him. Lifestyle and personal struggles. River Phoenix was known not only as a talented actor, but also as a symbol of idealism. He chose a path entirely different from many of his contemporaries: minimalist living, veganism, and a deep commitment to social activism. Yet behind the image of a young man living true to his values was a deeply conflicted soul, a constant battle between his lofty ideals and the shadows he could not escape. From a very young age, River was raised to respect all forms of life. His family, rooted in hippie ideals, emphasized living in harmony with nature. When River realized that meat came from slaughtered animals, he immediately adopted a vegan lifestyle and upheld this principle until the end of his life. For River, it wasn't just a dietary choice, but a declaration, a way to stand against the injustices he saw in the world. He once said, "Eating meat isn't just cruel, it's an abuse of human power." This ideal extended beyond his diet. River actively participated in animal rights and environmental campaigns, becoming a spokesperson for PETA and earning the title of Humanitarian of the Year in 1992. But an idealistic lifestyle did not equate to peace of mind. The pressure to maintain the image of a perfect role model weighed heavily on River. The values he strived to uphold sometimes became a cage that confined him. One well-known incident occurred when his girlfriend, Martha Plimpton, ordered soft-shell crab during dinner. River left the restaurant in tears, unable to bear seeing someone he loved eat animal flesh. To outsiders, this sensitivity might have seemed admirable, but for River, it was a painful reminder of his deep frustration and helplessness in the face of the world's cruelty. River's high ideals also clashed starkly with the environment he worked in. Hollywood, with its glitz and temptations, stood in direct opposition to everything he valued. He often felt out of place at lavish parties and among peers who chased fame at any cost. River openly admitted his disdain for the industry's superficiality and materialism, yet he couldn't walk away from it. Success in acting wasn't just a passion for him, it was a responsibility, a means of supporting his family. This contradiction isolated him and drove him to seek refuge in music, which became his only escape. Even music, however, where River once found freedom, eventually became a burden. He founded the band Alika's Attic, hoping to use music as a form of self-expression and a release from Hollywood's pressures. Yet his fame as an actor meant every step he took in music was scrutinized. People constantly compared him to other music stars, turning his pure passion into an unwanted competition. River could never fully escape the shadow of his celebrity, not even in the space he longed to keep private. The pressures of fame not only robbed River of his freedom, but also led him into a personal battle filled with inner turmoil. Once a young man committed to purity and avoidance of all vices, River eventually succumbed to the world of substances. The Hollywood scene, with its all-night parties, complex relationships, and dangerous lifestyles, slowly crept into his life. What began as fleeting experimentation soon turned into a destructive habit. This stood in stark contrast to the image he worked so hard to maintain: a clean, idealistic, and socially conscious figure. River knew he was slipping into a dark abyss, but found himself unable to stop. Those close to him, including his girlfriend Martha Plimpton, tried to intervene, but despite his deep love for them, River seemed incapable of escaping his inner struggles. The lofty ideals River pursued were a source of inspiration for millions, but they also drove him to physical and emotional exhaustion. He was a young man caught between two worlds, one of fame where he never truly belonged, and another of noble values that he desperately sought to protect, yet constantly felt powerless to uphold. River Phoenix was the embodiment of a sensitive, idealistic, and deeply conflicted soul, a person who fought to live authentically, even when it demanded everything he had to give. Tragic death and painful truths. On the morning of October 31st, 1993, Hollywood woke up in shock. River Phoenix, the young star hailed as the symbol of a generation, had collapsed on the sidewalk outside the Viper Room, a famous hotspot for artists and dark secrets. At just 23 years old, at the peak of his career, River not only lost his life, but also revealed a horrifying truth. The spotlight of Hollywood doesn't just illuminate, it can also consume the most sensitive souls. That fateful night began like any other. River arrived at the Viper Room with his girlfriend, Samantha Mathis, and his siblings, Joaquin and Rain. The plan was simple: drop off Joaquin and Rain at the club, and then leave. But an impromptu invitation from the band performing that night, led by Johnny Depp, the club's co-owner, changed everything. River agreed to stay and perform, a decision that seemed harmless, but would ultimately lead him down a path of no return. Samantha Mathis later recalled, "From the moment we walked in, I knew something was wrong. River wasn't himself anymore." In the days leading up to that night, River had been spiraling into a wave of self-destruction. He had been staying with John Frusciante, guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and indulging in heavy drug use. Bob Forrest, a close friend who was also present at the Viper Room that night, recounted that River had consumed a dangerous cocktail of drugs, a mixture of heroin and cocaine known as a speedball. Unbeknownst to River, it was the lethal dose that would end his life. Around midnight, River began feeling unwell and told his friends he believed he was overdosing. But no one believed that someone as vibrant and energetic as River could be in real danger. Just minutes later, the unthinkable happened. River started convulsing violently right outside the club, collapsing onto the sidewalk as Samantha, Rain, and Joaquin watched in horror. Amidst the screams and chaos, Joaquin, just 19 at the time, made a trembling call to 911. "Please come quickly, he's not breathing." That anguished and desperate call became an indelible record of River's final moments. By the time paramedics arrived, River's body was already in cardiac arrest. Efforts to resuscitate him at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center failed, and at 1:51 a.m., River Phoenix was pronounced dead. But his death was not just the end of a promising young life. It was the beginning of unanswered questions, rumors, and relentless criticism. 2 weeks later, River's autopsy report revealed the undeniable cause: acute multiple drug intoxication. The levels of heroin and cocaine in his system were fatal, alongside ephedrine, Valium, and marijuana. Notably, there were no needle marks on his body, indicating that the substances were ingested or snorted rather than injected. Yet this was only the tip of the iceberg. The report not only exposed River's descent into the world of drugs, but also laid bare the profound contradictions within him, a symbol of purity and idealism, undone by the very temptations he sought to resist. The media didn't miss the chance to sensationalize River's death. Tabloids exploited the tragedy, branding him as Hollywood's hypocrite, a vegan and animal rights advocate who succumbed to drugs. They compared him to James Dean, not for his talent, but for his untimely and tragic demise. These criticisms were not only unfair, but also a testament to the cruelty of Hollywood. River's family, friends, and those who truly knew him came to his defense, insisting that he was not a heavy addict, but a victim of a world where fame inevitably comes with loneliness and immense pressure. Those closest to River, including his ex-girlfriend Martha Plimpton, shared that he had tried hard to stay on the right path. However, the scars of his past, the weight of fame, and the sense of alienation that no one could fully understand had pushed him to the edge. Martha once revealed that she had tried to persuade River to quit drugs, but he often evaded the subject. He loved life, but he was also afraid of it, she said. River's death devastated not only his family and friends, but also left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of his fans. The Viper Room quickly became an impromptu memorial, with fans leaving flowers, candles, and letters at its entrance, turning the spot into a shrine for the fallen star. Johnny Depp, co-owner of the club, decided to close the Viper Room every Halloween in memory of River. But even this silence couldn't quell the lingering questions. Could River's death have been prevented if someone had recognized his cries for help? And why did such a beautiful soul have to bear burdens so heavy that no one could share? River Phoenix was more than just a young star. He was a testament to the dark side of fame. He lived with noble ideals but was swept into a world he couldn't control. His light didn't just shine, it burned. And when it was extinguished, it left behind a painful lesson. Sometimes the most genuine and sensitive souls are the ones most vulnerable in a world that demands so much. Legacy and lasting impact. River Phoenix's death, though a profound tragedy, did not diminish the light he left behind. On the contrary, it further underscored the value of what he built in his short but brilliant life. River is remembered not only as an extraordinary talent, but also as a symbol of idealism and sensitivity in an unforgiving industry. On screen, River Phoenix embodied authenticity and emotional depth. Roles such as Chris Chambers in Stand By Me, Danny Pope in Running on Empty, and Mike Waters in My Own Private Idaho not only touched the hearts of audiences, but also cemented his place in cinematic history. River didn't simply act. He lived through his characters, infusing each role with the raw, genuine emotions of a sensitive and deeply scarred soul. Every film he participated in bore his unique imprint, transforming on-screen characters into symbols of complexity and humanity. It is no coincidence that even Hollywood's greatest artists, like Leonardo DiCaprio, consider River an inspiration in shaping their careers. However, River's legacy extends far beyond the screen. He was a pioneer in using his fame to advocate for social causes. As a staunch animal rights and environmental activist, River didn't just talk about his ideals, he lived them fully. He actively participated in campaigns to protect animals, donated to preserve rainforests, and fearlessly stood up for what he believed in. This responsible and principled lifestyle crafted a unique image of a star whose ideals shone brighter than the glitz of fame. River's influence also resonated deeply with those closest to him, especially his brother Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin has shared that River was the one who encouraged him to pursue acting and became the greatest motivator in his career. During his 2020 Oscar acceptance speech, Joaquin tearfully recalled his brother's words, "Run to the rescue with love, and peace will follow." This was not just a quote. It was River's philosophy, a soul yearning to make the world a better place. Artists like Leonardo DiCaprio have also acknowledged River's profound impact, not only for his talent but also for his character, solidifying him as a timeless icon. River's death serves as a grim reminder of the dark side of fame. He exemplified the conflict between expectation and reality, the light of celebrity, and the shadows of the pressures it brings. His story has fostered greater awareness of mental health in the entertainment industry, opening conversations about supporting artists, particularly young ones vulnerable to temptation and stress. Though River Phoenix is gone, his legacy endures. From his iconic roles and noble ideals to his influence across generations, he is proof that even a brief life can leave an eternal impact. River was not just a star that faded, he was a symbol of authenticity, sensitivity, and the courage to fight for his ideals, a flame that continues to burn brightly in the memories of us all. If River Phoenix's complex yet radiant life story has resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel to never miss another meaningful story. By spreading his story, you help keep River's legacy alive and join us in bringing more inspiring narratives to the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.